My name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to do a chakra reading, and this time we're going to ask how to balance out your chakras to be able to balance out your relationship with you and your twin flame. So we're going to start with the crown chakra and go all the way down to the root chakra, and we're going to see how to balance out all your chakras because you and your twin flame share a chakra system. And in order to be in physical twin flame union, you need to balance out your chakra system with your twin flame. So it's just going to be one layout because you and your twin flame share a chakra system. On the clock, I see 222. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out what is imbalanced or what is balanced and what's not balanced. Let's see what's going on with your chakra system, and then how to balance out. Okay, or what you need to do to balance out, like what you need to balance out. Maybe we'll just say it that way. We're going to say what you need to balance out. We're not going to say what is balanced and what's not balanced. We're just going to go from crown to root, and we're going to just, for all 7 chakras, and we're just going to ask what you need to balance out. What you need to balance out. So that you and your twin flame can be together and in alignment with each other. So let's start with crown. No, let's just start with root. Let's start with root. We're going to go up. We're going to go from the root. All right, so one card. Can I, the root chakra. What exactly do the twin flames need to balance out the root chakra? One card, please. Listening. Okay, listening to your own intuition. So that is going to help balance out your root chakra. Listening. Okay, really listening inside of you. Knowing the inner truth. That is going to balance out your root chakra. Okay, now let's go to sacral chakra. What is going to balance out your sacral chakra for you and your twin flame? One card, please. What is going to balance out your sacral chakra for you and your twin flame? Universal light. Beautiful. So universal light. So this is all about unity. So this is what's going to help you balance out your sacral chakra. Okay. Now let's go ahead to the solar plexus chakra. What is going to balance out your sacral chakra? I'm sorry, your solar plexus chakra. What's going to help you balance out your solar plexus chakra for you and your twin flame? Ooh, the I am presence. So, I am a tree. I am love. I am everything. I am the darkness, right? I am everything. I am, just the I am. That's going to balance your solar plexus with your twin flame when you just know that I am. I am everything. There is nothing that you're not. You are everything. Okay? That even means war. That even means the darkness. It's like, I created it. I built it. I created it in all the other dimensions. And now I came here to live it, my own creations. This is what I made for duality, for the whole experience of it all. Okay, so now let's go to heart chakra. How to balance the heart chakra. How to balance the heart chakra, please. How do we balance the heart chakra to be in alignment with our twin flame? Spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening, that is what's going to balance out your heart chakra. All right, interesting. And now let's look at throat chakra. Throat chakra. What is going to balance out the throat chakra? What's going to help heal and balance out the throat chakra for the twin flames? Self-mastery. Very interesting. Self-mastery. And then, we'll just pull another card from another deck just to kind of see how to do this, right? Like, how do we have self-mastery? It's a tall order. How the heck do we have self-mastery? All right, let's look at third eye. So how do we, oh, that flew. How do we balance out our third eye, please? To align with our twin flame. How to balance out our third eye. Interesting. Rebirth. Okay, and again, we're going to ask more about that. All right, and then what about crown? How to balance out crown? How to balance that out? To align with our twin flame. How do we balance out our crown chakra? How do we do that? I'm sorry, what do we need? Oh, interesting. We have nurturing. Wow. So to balance out our crown chakra, we need to be more nurturing. Wow. All right. So now let me go ahead and I don't know if I could do it from this deck. I always like to let me use this deck. All right. So let's start with listening. Let's get more information on that. What do we need? Let's get a clarifier on that with listening. Like, how do we balance out our root chakra when it comes to listening? What does this have to do with, please? One card. What does this have to do with, please? What does this have to do with? One card. When it comes to listening. Ah, interesting. I love it. Morality reversed. Oh, I love that. You know how we're always trying to be moral, and we're always trying to have our morality and we're always trying to do the right thing. Well, it's not about that. It's about accepting all perspectives, about listening to everybody, listening to everyone. I know it's hard. Oh, you don't have to tell me how hard it is. Yes. Because we always think, oh, we don't want to hear I don't want to hear from that Confederate who says Heil Hitler. I don't want to hear their perspective. you know, it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, we have to listen to everyone. That's going to balance out our root chakra. We need to hear every single person's perspective because it's us, everyone's us, so everyone's a part of us, so that's going to balance out our root chakra. Listening to everyone, it's not based on morality, it's instead it's about love, it's more about nurturing, really. It's about, because people will look at us and say the same thing about our perspectives are sometimes just as cruel, right? So let's just say I'm a person that eats meat and I think there's nothing. Well, someone else will look at me for eating meat and say you're a cruel person. You eat meat, right? So it's just like it really just depends on what it is that you, and by the way, I'm personally a fish eater, but still, people would look at me and say that that's cruel. You eat fish, I am a pescatarian. So anyway, that's just an example, though. But in can I talk? But in all, it's about understanding. It's about seeking to understand all perspectives. That's what's going to balance out your root chakra. So now let's look at your sacral chakra of universal light. How to do this? How to balance out our sacral chakra with universal light? How do we do that? How do we do that? How do we balance out with universal light? What does this have to do with? Yeah, stop projecting onto others, right? Because this is what we do. We're constantly projecting. So we think it's the other person, and we think the other person is being mean to us. But what we're really doing is we're projecting our own inner wounds, and our soul kind of jumps into the other person. And so let's just say I'm him, and I'm talking to her. My soul jumps into her and says, hey, I need you to know that there's something inside of you that needs to be healed, or something in the past, from your inner child, or something to do with your ancestors, that type of thing. And this needs to be healed. But then again, we think it's them. We look at them and say, oh my gosh, you're such a mean person, And so that's what becoming the universal light is just really understanding that mirror, really understanding that we are projecting onto others because we are everyone. That's why it's a projection. Okay, so projection, I should say. Okay, let's look at the solar plexus, the I am presence, the I am presence. How do we do this? How do we have this I am presence? How do we do this? It's very hard to say I am, I am, COVID. I am, um, I am hell, I am everything. It's hard to say that, right? Okay, so this is interesting. So we have intense, so don't be so intense about everything. It's just like letting go. So like, how everyone's very intense with like what they believe in. And so they're saying to let that go. Um, and it's okay, by the way, to feel intense about what you believe in. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But let others feel intense about what they believe in. It's almost like, again, that I talked about that before, the parable about the elephant. So all these blind men have a piece of the elephant, and they describe the elephant in this way, where, oh, I have the trunk of the elephant, so this is what an elephant looks like, and someone else has the tail, and someone else has the foot. Okay, and so we are all that. Like, nobody has the whole elephant until you die. Okay. And I don't even know if you get the full elephant when you die. I don't know. Maybe we don't. Maybe the elephant was just an illusion. But anyway, no one in this world has the full anything. Even if I created it, I can say, hey, I created this channel, so I have all the perspectives of my channel. That's not true. I don't have the whole perspective on my channel. Other people have perspectives on my channel. I just have a piece of a perspective. Everyone else has perspectives, and it's okay for them to feel very intensely about their perspective. So that is what it means to be I am. It's just knowing that I am everything. Okay. So put that over here. So that is the solar plexus. So now let's get to the heart chakra. So spiritual awakening, how to have spiritual awakening to help us align with our twin flame. What does that mean? Like, how do we do this? How do we have a spiritual awakening? How do we do this? It's not about becoming exhausted, that's for sure. It's not about running the rat race, right? It's not about um, moving to A to Z as quickly as possible. That's what I do. That's why I could laugh about it. Nope, a spiritual awakening is slow. It's a slow thing, and we go up and down in our spiritual awakening. And so it's not meant to exhaust you. It's just meant to gradually come. It's not about working hard. It's about, allowing the soul to help you to, it could be any path, whether it's a blissful path or whether it's a hard path. Both paths are fine. It's just an experience. That's all it is. And the end game is the exact same. Doesn't matter which path you take. It does not matter. And so that's what they're saying about spiritual awakening. So this is an interesting one. So we get to throat chakra and we get to self-mastery. So when I think of throat chakra and self-mastery, I think, well, how do I master myself with my throat chakra? And that self-mastery is being more of a listener. Again, not to like let others tell you how to think, but to just be open and to seek to understand others. But that's just a thought that I had that came to my brain. But let's just see what they say. Yeah, kind of the same thing. Not being the outsider. Don't see yourself as an outsider when you see everyone else that have, and trust me, I know it's hard because I feel the same exact way. There's going to be a group of people, sometimes a very large group of people, that are going to see something very differently than you. Okay. And it's hard to see both sides, or three sides or four sides. And sometimes you do feel like an outsider because you're like, I don't know where you're coming from, and I don't see how you can think this way. And that's because it's probably a past life thing. Like, some of us in our past lives went through something. Like, let me just give you an example. So right now, if you're watching this in 2021, I'll give you the example of COVID. So there's probably a group of people who may have died in a plague or something in a past life. And so perhaps that group of people might be feeling like, COVID could take their lives, and they're taking it very seriously, and they're very, very much like wanting to protect themselves. And then there's another group of people in a past life that may have had their rights taken away, or some kind of government thing happened where, like, they were maybe in like in this case, in some European countries, people were kind of quarantined against their will for a long period of time. I can't speak for every country, but I have a friend in Spain who was quarantined for months, and like a police officer would stop her if she tried to go somewhere for like months. So a group of people may have had something happen to them in a past life where they had their rights taken away, and so they wouldn't perhaps have the perspective that they should have to listen to what the government's rules and regulations are. So that's just a perspective. I'm not saying I'm a correct perspective. I'm just saying it's something that I try to do. I try to see everyone's perspective as best I can, but I try to see it from a past life point of view, or like, maybe in their past life, like they had this happen to them, so that's why they view it this way. And maybe this group of people had this type of past life, and so they view it that way. And I could be totally wrong. But anyway, so I try not to be an outsider. I try to fill their shoes. Like I try to walk in their shoes. I try to understand, like why they have this perspective, that type of thing. And so that is about self mastery. Okay, so that is with your throat chakra. Okay, we'll put that over here. Okay, so let's look at rebirth. So this is your third eye. So how to do this? How do we do this? How do we have a rebirth? Okay. So how do we have a rebirth, please? How do we do this? How do we have a rebirth? One card. How do we have a rebirth, please? Consciousness. I love it. Consciousness, right? So being conscious. Well, what does that mean? You're probably thinking. Well, a lot of it has to do with subconscious mind. So whatever's in our subconscious mind, that whatever's wounded needs to be cleaned out, and then that's when the gifts appear. So whatever wounded us in some way, whatever programming we have in our subconscious mind, when we start to clear that, it's all energy. So any kind of energy work that you do is fine. Just clear it with energy work, and that will help you to understand that we're all one. Okay, so that's the consciousness of the all one. And it's hard to see that when you have a lot of programming still in your subconscious mind. And even as you clear out the wounds from your past, it's just like you feel like you're almost taking on the karma for everyone. And it's hard, right? But at the same time, little by little, you start to have this awakening, and it's not a rat race, right? Like it's not a race to the finish line, like we said over here. It's not about, because I do this, it's not about exhausting yourself trying to learn wisdom as fast as possible. Just gaining wisdom little by little, right? Taking your time. Okay, but let's look at crown chakra. So, nurturing. So what do you mean by nurturing? Like, what does this have to do with? So how is this going to balance out, and how do we do this? So when it comes to nurturing, seems pretty self-explanatory, but maybe you can give us something else about how to balance out our crown chakra. Yeah, it's not about isolating ourselves. It's not about um, icing out other people, or just saying, you don't think like me, therefore I don't like you, and you made me sad, and I don't want you in my life. So no, so even when you do feel this way about a person, it's okay that you do. We all do. It's all a part of life. But what's going to balance out your crown chakra is to be more nurturing to people, especially the ones that you want to ice out, or just isolate yourself. Maybe you feel you don't like yourself, or you don't, or it could be a family member, or a friend, or something happened, an ex maybe. Anyway, so to be nurturing, that doesn't mean have them in your life. That's not what that means. Like not having, but feeling nurturing, almost like just sending them the vibration of love, right? Just sending them love energetically and just feeling more nurturing towards people, and that will help melt this ice around people or around yourself, okay? Um, because I feel like when we think of ourselves as an island, or if we think of ourselves as somebody who needs to build a wall around ourselves to protect ourselves from others, that kind of blocks and puts our crown chakra out of alignment because is actually all about the consciousness of one. So that is the whole twin flame journey, right? Because we call it getting in union. So we do want to be in consciousness of one. So nurturing is the key to that. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. I am offering 10-minute free readings to all of my new subscribers. You can email me at twinflamealchemisttarot@gmail.com if you're interested in a free reading. Also, if you're interested in giving me a review on Etsy shop, I am also offering free readings to anyone who would like to give me a review on my Etsy shop. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.